Hey, hello. This is Mary Lou Foster, and thank you for joining me today for another video. I hope that it's bright enough in my workspace today. We're actually kind of in the midst of a thunderstorm right now, but I'm going to be brave and go ahead. Hopefully, the lights won't go off. If they do, I'll just have to start over. Like I said, my name is Mary Lou Foster, and I'm an independent Stamping Up demonstrator in Northeast Texas. And today, I would like to show you this beautiful Scenic Coast collection of products. There's a whole bunch of items in this collection. They call it a collection because it's a little bit more than a suite. It is an online exclusive, and this paper is stunning. So there are stamps, of course, and dies. And here's what caught my eye. We saw this at OnStage. In fact, it might be in the current catalog. I forgot to look. Lighthouses. I love lighthouses. And I'm like, oh I'm going to have that. And then I convinced myself the sailboat was really pretty. Not sure what I would do with the sunburst, but I have taken some classes and have used it. And it's really quite fun. So it's a full selection. It cuts out in a circle when it cuts these out, but there are ways to cut it apart and use different parts. And then the stamp set. I think what caught my eye about it is wherever this note finds you, I hope it finds you happy, because sometimes you just want to send a note to somebody, and yeah, it's a little awkward. You're like, well, I don't really know what to say, but that sentiment is just perfect for something like that. Today we're going to make a birthday card. It could be a masculine birthday card. It could be a birthday card for a friend who loves the beach. It's kind of a summertime card. We'll use a lot of the dies. As you can see, there's a lot of detail on the inside. Hopefully you can see the stitch detail that comes out with the dies. We'll be cutting that, die cutting the lighthouse out, and lots of little details there. But let me show you the paper. This is just some of the dies, and as you can see, the seashells, 3 of them cut out at the same time. So that's convenient. Of course, purple is my favorite color. This may look more like blue, depending on, like the light in here. On my computer, it looks blue. It's actually gorgeous grape, I believe, and fresh freesia kind of along. So I purposely am showing you the B side. This is the side with no glitzy stuff, kind of a calmer view. But look when I turn it over. This is a pack of 6x6 specialty paper. And can you see the reflection in that paper? Currently, this isn't available. It will be back in stock, so no worries. It has come and gone. Look how pretty that is. It was hard to pick a sheet for this class. Sometimes you have to waste the edges to get the part of the skyline and the ocean there where it meets. But you can see the glitz. I think this might be my favorite one. I believe that one's upside down. And here's how you know. The top part does not have foiling of any kind. As you can see, there's no shine up here, but look where the shine starts, right here. Because that's probably like the sun right at the horizon ready to go down. So let's see which piece of designer series paper we're going to use. It's got the watery paper on the back of it. That's how I had to figure out some of these, is I had to look at the B side to figure out. So for my card class, this is one of the cards that my ladies made. I did their die cutting for them, pretty much all of it, because spacing it was a challenge. And I knew they would get frustrated. It was going to take them a very long time. And I like for them to have a good experience and to be in and out before it's time to have dinner. Because occasionally, if I make my cards too difficult, they're here more than 2.5 hours. My goal is 2 hours. So our piece of Secret Sea, I believe, it might be Night of Navy. Let me see which. Here's the package. Remember, it tells us on here what it coordinates with. It's not Balmy Blue, Blueberry Bushel. It's not that. Gorgeous Grape, nope. Highland Heather, nope. Strawberry Slush, nope. Crushed Curry, nope. It's one of the blues. Obviously. I think it's Night of Navy. So it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I will put a link to my blog in the description. So if you are interested in making this card, you'll have the information you need to cut your paper and that kind of stuff. Because chances are you may already own this beautiful suite and you're kind of like me going, what am I going to do with it? Well, there's some details here that we need to kind of talk about because there's some stamping. You can't quite see it, but there's a sailboat that is stamped right on the horizon. Word of caution, you cannot stamp on this foil part. The ink, it won't dry. I mean, so I don't want you to be disappointed. So we're having to work right at the edge. So we've got a rock formation. We are going on a cruise here in a couple of weeks, and one of the stops you can take an excursion to go see a very similar rock formation. Those are formed when the ocean waves just kind of continually beat against the same rock the same way and carve out an arch. So in order to get that detail to work out, you kind of have to play with where this is going to land. And no worries, you'll be able to take your scissors and cut off the top part when you get finished. All right, I have to find my early espresso. I've got card boxes, card kits everywhere. Let me see, which box is it in? I think it's in this one. Nope. Oops, get back in here. And I don't think it's in that one. And not in that one. Sorry. That was one thing I forgot to check on before I started. Well, I don't see it. I'm getting ready for a class, and so I set up the boxes as I make my hit it on myself. Early espresso. It was in my stack all along. All right, if you'll notice, this is two-step stamping. So you have the darker shadowing, and that's what I call this one. And you're going to need to space it. I'll move my top piece once I know where I'm going to place it. So I'm going to do it pretty close to the edge. I don't want to cover up my sun, so it'll probably just be peeking out from the edge there. I'm going to stamp this full strength early espresso. And I think what I may do, let's put this down, because I'm going to stamp off the edge just a little bit. I want my which means I may have to move my lighthouse piece over. So I stamped that full strength, but the rocks themselves I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to do it on this side because this side's already nasty. And then stamp it over. You kind of leave it on there. If you just, the ink doesn't have time to move under the stamp, and you maybe don't have it seated on there firm enough, and you end up with it not inking well. And then I'm going to use Memento. I think I might have used Secret Sea. And as you can see, the little sailboat doesn't quite fit under the arch. So you just, you pick a place. Part of it is going to be down here on the silver. I'm just going to wipe that off. So you kind of get the idea of the sailboat. And maybe we'll have another sailboat on this one that's more fully up, stamped a little higher. Okay, so that's the only stamping. And now we're going to position this wherever we want to. And I have mine on dimensionals on top of the piece of designer series paper. I'm going to move this off, so we'll go back to just the, so let's get that going on back here. So I always do corners, going to do the middle, and I'm going to be pretty generous because there's lots of going to be loose places that will be elevated. Maybe you don't need that one right down at the very bottom. I'm going to kind of go around the circle. I think I may put one right here, and here, and here. Now I'm going to need some support for the lighthouse. That's a good opportunity to use these half pieces or the mini dimensionals. I'll show you, you can use the straight edge along the straight edge. It's probably the most logical. And then I think I need one. Oh, I didn't cut that one. To hold up this house. It's a little more challenging to get it in here. So I don't like for my dimensionals to show. Yeah, I think we're just going to end up with one sailboat. Because that looks kind of funny if I put it on top. Ooh, I could put it further down like that. Ooh, I think that's what I'll do. We'll have more of the shiny showing. Say that real fast. All right, get these backers off. Don't think I'm going to need... Oops, I had already taken that piece off. I think when I will need those bottom ones. I already took one of them off. when I get ready to actually put it on the card base. All right, let's see, where did we decide? That looks pretty good. All right. Did it stick? Nope. So the part we're going to trim is this part up here. I like using my bigger scissors to do that. Kind of sneaking behind the... This is basic beige. Most of the time I'm not a fan of basic beige. There you go. Not too bad. Let's get some more stamping done. Our sentiment, happy birthday. It did not come out of this stamp set. I didn't make myself cheat notes to remind me which one it came out of. My strip is an extra generously long piece. I don't need it that long, but I'm going to trim it anyway. So I didn't mind making it bigger than it needed to be. Alright, so I have done my die cutting already, and because these pieces are super small, I put adhesive sheet on the back. And if you have not done that, let me keep showing you what we're using here. That's a little trick and hint. Oh, I cut the wrong one. Well, fine. Let's just make them both go the same direction. It's okay. I don't care. So, this grass is from the Waterside, Relaxing Waterside Stamps and Dies. I wanted to put some grass. One of the classes I took, they used the pieces that came out of that die, colored it, and used it for grass. And I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to ask my ladies to do that. That goes on the inside. Here's my other fence. So if you'll notice my fence on this card, the big ends, they should have been probably the big ends in the middle and the little ends to the side. But I think I may have applied one of them backwards, and I had to put the other one backwards. Because there's kind of an opening like a gate would be. I know one of the times we went to the beach, bless it, the little fence that they had put up had washed out long ago, but there was lots of sand piled up against it. It no longer was a fence. But it was a cute place to take pictures. So you got that. Alrighty, let's see. I don't want this to cover my lighthouse, so let's put it there. And the cool thing about when you put adhesive sheet on the back, I didn't have to worry about punching out those extra pieces, because a lot of times what will happen when you pull off the backing, kind of works like the dimensionals, those extra pieces will come and they'll stay stuck, except that one. And you don't have to mess with trying to poke them out and all the stuff. So I put some of the adhesive sheet on this one. This is just so much better than messing with glue. Let's pretend like right there's a good spot. Or our tape runners, anything like that. It's just to go ahead, you apply that to the back of your cardstock, the back of the cardstock, not the front. When you peel it off, you're making a sticker. I've got one of those Xyrons from back in the day when I scrapbooked. because that was way back in the day, and we didn't have all the pretties that we have now. We had to make our own stickers. How about this time we angle this kind of that direction. And if you want this side to be at the same angle, see if I can remember how to do it. Turn it over backwards. Put it on here where you want to cut. I want it to go, I'll get it in a minute, this way. No, I don't. Well, usually I don't have any trouble remembering how to do that. Oh, can I do it? Well, for crying out loud. Onion. We'll just tie it up. Just like that. And, you know, you can't have a beach theme without some string, and I'm going to use our linen thread rather. And that is actually a double bow, and I probably did not give myself enough to make a double bow, but let's try it. So I kind of find the middle, make me a small loop. I don't want to get too generous, but it's going to need to be big enough to go underneath my happy birthday. Yep, I believe that will be fine. The bottom one needs to be bigger. There we go. We'll put that on with a glue dot whenever we are sure about where it's going to end up. I don't want to cover up my fence too much, and I've got lots of space down here. And I know that looks crooked on camera, but on this barnwood lines, they're not straight lines, and so this optical illusion that's created. I think I'll turn it this way. We're going to use a glue dot to secure that in place. So I put my bow on it, tear it off between the bows, and then that way I can get my fingernail up underneath that dot and put it where I want it. Using tweezers and all that stuff, not my game. Okay, so let's put dimensionals on either end. It's probably going to have a bit of a hump because it's going over the knot in that linen thread. Could have kept that from happening by spacing it a little better. Uh-oh, it's crooked. I can see that. Don't yell at me. I have to cut these off. Okay. So we've got our grass, we've got our fence, we have our happy birthday. I have die cut my birds, and guess what? I use the adhesive sheet because, trust me, these birds are little bitty birds. Let's see. Which way are they going to go? Sorry, I know my hands are like right in front of the card. Sorry. Get out of there, bird. And put you on the magnet sheet. Don't want to lose you. I had die cut out birds. I don't remember what I was doing. and I lost one here on my craft table. Like I had it, and then I didn't have it. That's a zooming bird. That's what I call that one. And this one is checking out the world. I finally found that bird. I don't remember what it was stuck to. Sometimes things disappear in plain sight. So I'm using the piercing tool on the take your pick tool. And I just kind of find a weak spot in that release paper. There's one. I die cut these out of a piece of designer series paper. I just picked one, the dark blue one. Nothing fancier than that. Just use, you don't have to have a bunch of stuff. You figure out how to use what you have. So I thought, well, that's a good tip. Be sure and check the back of the paper because it was the back of one of them. Excuse me. I felt that coming. Right, I got it. And I'm going to tuck its wing kind of up underneath the edge of the lighthouse. There you go. So let's put it on the card front, and then we'll put the embellishments on it. So I've trimmed off the extra designer series paper that was, oops, got an extra piece there. And I got extra pieces running around right there. So we are going to adhere this flat because we've already used the dimensionals to pop up that die cut piece to give it some dimension and depth. Now, if you wanted to, you could start inking it and add even more details, but I'm keeping this one simple for you. So there's that part. And it is embellished with these beautiful sunset sparkle sequins. I believe they are part of the collection. And we've used the pool party ones. But you know what? On this one, I think I'm going to use these. I think they might be Cajun Craze. They're pretty though. They're really dark. I had put that one up on the end, but you know what? I think I'm going to put it right there. Your cattail, if you want your cattail darker, I just die cut it out of Mossy Meadow. I'm going to take the bronze marker Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going to color the cattail part and leave the stem and everything. If you want to go to all the trouble to die cut it out again, I've seen people do all kinds of stuff. Well, let's decorate the inside. All right, where did the piece of, I had it, I laid it aside. Here it is, and it is very vanilla, even though we've used basic beige. I'm going to use the net, and I think I didn't use all of it. I let some, I let it hang off, and then we'll trim the extra part. And this, you may notice one arm of the starfish is not there, but here's what I was thinking. I can cover that up with one of the other pieces. Maybe I'll start with that one. I'll do that one. Once again, these were die cut out of the, how did I arrange it in there? Probably would have been better to have had some more color, but I think I'm just going to go with what I got. I may change it after I get finished, but it didn't really offer a lot of variety. used adhesive sheet because, oh, it's not going to pull it off. Well, that's not good. If I just kind of fiddle with it. Nope. All right, well, here's what you do. You pull out that silicone mat. You pull out your pick tool. Well, I call it U-pick tool. That's not the name of it. And you encourage these little things to come out. Sometimes they come out and sometimes they don't. So one thing I did is I just started a stack of them. So that managed the stickiness. They stuck to the one that I set it on top of. So I had a pile of them all stuck together. How about that? As opposed to all these individual pieces just running everywhere. Then I can clean those up when we get done, because I've got stacks. Sorry, I really did not think they would stay stuck like that. Sometimes you can take your finger, but what I don't like about doing that is it kind of wears out the sticky, and then your piece doesn't stick very well. The oils on your fingers get on the back, and I gotta clean my fingers off. All right, let's move this aside. I can take care of that in a minute and make sure those don't stick where I don't want them. Sorry, I've got a bunch on my fingers. Get off there. Let's see, I think I did it this direction. You can do it however you want to. And then the real easy way is to turn it over, because you can see the edge of your cardstock, and just trim it along the edge. You're not having to try to put it in the trimmer and figure out where to cut it, and it takes you that long. Not long at all. Get rid of my pieces. So we've got our net on, and I think I probably did not get adhesive sheet on that part. So I'm going to use some contraband. Y'all close your eyes. I do not like memento. It gets on my fingers, and then my fingers stick to everything. But this glue does not do that. And I could leave it loose, but I don't want it to hang. I want the recipient to go, well, geez. Okay. I have another kit. Let me see what color. Same ones. Yep. I think probably what I'll do when I get off video is die cut some other colors. All right, glue dots will work great. I did not put adhesive sheet on these. You can use memento, the liquid glue, the green glue, as some people call it. You can use the tape runner, Stampin' Seal. It is a very small area. Let's see. Lay that one there, because what I'll do when I die cut then is I'll come back with a blue or whatever color to fill in that spot. Let's put our inside in. We're almost done. Oh, we didn't stamp our sentiment though. I chose the Adventure Continues. It's a happy birthday card. So why not? Life is an adventure. If it's not, make it be an adventure. Like I said, we are going on a cruise in a couple of weeks. very excited. My husband has recovered from a big health concern last year that kept us very close to home, in and out of the hospital for 5 months. So we are looking forward to kind of resuming our normal life. I will let you know how it goes. That might be crooked a little bit. Whoops, it's shadowed a little bit now because it moved. So, that's our card. The adventure continues. I think it's pretty. I think the next one I make, I will put a picture in the comments because I'm going to do some different stuff with the rocks and all of that. So that's what I had for you today. This is our Scenic Coast birthday card. Happy birthday. Like I said, could be masculine, could be your beach loving friend. Try to offer a whole variety of different things that maybe aren't my favorite but are yours. Do you need a catalog? The current one is online. You can download a copy of the digital version. I have paper copies that I can mail to you. You just email me and ask. And my blog is Mary Lou Foster. That's my name, Blogspot. No, brightstar.blogspot.com. There will be a link in the description of this video that will take you to the blog because that's where my cutting instructions are going to be. So that's all I had for you today. I appreciate your time. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.